everybody, I'm Chris Slate, Editor-in-Chief of PSM Magazine, and today is ship day. We're actually sending the last few pages of our September issue, so we're really busy. But we wanted to give you guys kind of a behind-the-scenes look at just how crazy it gets around here, so we'll do that right after this quick message from Games Radar. Welcome back. Like I said, this is ship day here at PSM. We're trying to get all the pages out the door, and right now I happen to hold in my hands the almost final version of our 13-page cover story on Resistance: Fall of Man. This story actually is the type that we, because it's the cover story and it's such a big game and it's so many pages, several of us are going to go over this feature in each of the pages over and over and over again. It seems like no matter how many times we look at it, we always spot one mistake we missed the last time, something else we could tweak to make it a little bit better. And in this kind of situation also I'm looking at, are there better titles for captions? Are there better pictures to use? Just a last little bit of polish to make sure that it's as good as it can be before it goes out the door. Actually, I'm really proud of how this story turned out because we got a lot of information on a really, really important, actually I think the most important PS3 launch game that hasn't been out there yet. So you guys can look forward to reading a lot of stuff about this game that you haven't heard before and seeing a lot of really cool screens that you haven't seen before. For the few of you that maybe haven't heard about Resistance yet, it is Sony's first-person shooter for launch for the PS3. It's being made by the teams that worked on the Ratchet & Clank games over at Insomniac in Los Angeles. And other than that, there's just too much to tell. You'll have to read about it. But I've played it a lot. Played a lot of multiplayer, including some 40-player sessions, and it's looking really good. I think this will probably be the most important game at the launch of the PS3. Alright, so what we do with an article when it's done is we take the final printout, put it back in its sleeve, sign off, check ship it. Everyone who's seen this page, or who needs to see this page, has seen it. Then that goes over to Bill, and the last little step is, this is a complete map of what's in the entire magazine, and I find the article on here and I highlight it. And then when this whole thing is a bright yellow green, that makes all of us really happy because we can finally go home and catch up on sleep. Alright, and now the other guys are going to show you a little bit of what they're up to here in the final hours of the September issue.
This is the final step before sign-off in production. What I do is I take this pile of pages and electronically convert them to PDFs, which the production department will then add ads to if necessary and check out and assemble and send off to the printer to be printed. So basically I'm taking this stack and I'm moving it all into that stack. And that's it.
Hi, I'm Justin. I'm the associate editor at PSM, and I'm adding captions to the previews that we got in. Most times captions aren't actually written in, we have to write them afterwards. And we have to try to be as clever as we can. So, unfortunately, I'm not being very clever right now.
Hey, I'm Randy Nelson. I'm the executive editor of PSM, and one of my responsibilities on the magazine is actually managing the reviews section. And inevitably on crunch day, very last day of shipping, we get something in. In this case, I've gotten in a review from a freelancer who may not be doing work for us in the future because of it. And I'm about to take it and flow it into our review template, which is a fancy way of saying we're just going to stick it on a page and I'm going to edit it and print it out and see how it looks. Actually, for the first time since we did our redesign in issue 111, I actually wrote the Game of the Month review, which is kind of funny because I'm technically the reviews editor on the magazine, and thus far all of the Game of the Month reviews have been written by someone else, and this time was actually a game that is kind of dear to my heart from the PlayStation 1 days called Valkyrie Profile. And it's obviously very good or it wouldn't be Game of the Month. And so that's one thing that I really enjoyed doing this issue.
Hi, my name is Chris Imlay. I'm the art dictator director of PSM, and my job is to take the text that these nerds write, and when they turn it in really late, then I get to spend all night laying stuff out with it. So I take their words and then I put them into a layout program which is called InDesign, and then I take the words and I take some pictures that they also find for me, or I have to find for myself, and I put them together and I make something beautiful. These are the picture part of what I was talking about earlier. We got a foreground, we got a background. These were sent by the company that's making this game. Background, foreground. They're in layers though. They came together, but I separate them. And then I take these two pieces and I throw them into, in this case, a cover. Got layers also happily in InDesign. So I get the foreground, the guy, the big nasty alien, sneaky scary alien guy. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Ooh, scary. And then these TKs become words. And they usually have exclamation points. 3, maybe 4, I don't know, 5. Some say there's never too many exclamation points. If I was really cool, I'd put in some subliminal message, but I'm not gonna do that.
This is the last step. What happens is myself and Gary or Chris come over here and we look at the page. We verify that it's in the correct place on the flat plan. We mark it off. We look for any basic glaring mistakes, because by this time it's been gone over several times. And if it looks okay and everything's in support, I sign it here. And then Gary will sign it
here.
And that's it. That's the end of the process. Then we go home and get drunk. Right, Gary?
Right. All right, well that's it. I hope that gives you guys maybe just a little bit better idea about how things work around here. And I'd better get back to shipping these pages before Bill chokes me over there.